What is up, guys? It has been 2 full weeks of zero caffeine, and today I'm going to talk a little bit more about what I felt mentally and how I think it is super helpful for most of you guys who are drinking coffee, caffeine, whatever it is, every single day to start on this 14-day caffeine fast. The number one reason I think most people should do this is because they're simply drinking too much caffeine and it's actually interrupting your sleep cycle, or at least interrupting how well you fall asleep. Even though it is relatively safe to drink every single day, I think most people, most Americans, drink too much of it, and also drinking it too late into the day. Caffeine has a 6-hour half-life, so that means in 6 hours, half of the dose that you ingested 6 hours prior is like out of your system technically. So if you say you drink a cup of coffee, which is relatively around 100 milligrams of caffeine, in 6 hours, so if say you drink it at noon, in 6 hours at 6 p.m., you will have 50 milligrams of caffeine left in your system. But the caveat is that most people eat lunch at around 11:30, and they finish lunch around like 12:30 to 1, and then they start feeling sluggish at around 2 p.m., 3 p.m. And that's when people decide to drink a cup of coffee and decide to just, blast through the rest of the workday. With that being said, if you drink it at like 2 p.m., 3 p.m., then it will take at least 6 hours for you to digest half the amount of caffeine that you just ingested. So you drank 100 milligrams at like 2 p.m., 3 p.m., and it's not until 9 or 10 o'clock where you have only 50 milligrams of caffeine left. And for most people who want to have a decent sleep schedule, 10 p.m. is actually pretty early, but you still have 50 milligrams in your system, and that might be stopping you from falling asleep. Obviously, this all is determined based on your caffeine tolerance. Most people can fall asleep with 50 milligrams of caffeine in their system because that's just like a Coke or something. The thing is, I have found out for me, my sleep quality declines dramatically if I drink caffeine too late into the day. It just interrupts something in my sleep. I don't feel as alert. I don't feel as awake and as restful as I did if I didn't drink any caffeine. Besides sleep quality, one of the major things that I've realized is that I get more agitated a lot easier if I drink caffeine throughout the day. And this might be because of a couple of reasons, but I think the biggest factor is the caffeine. If I drink it, I want to do things really fast. I want to accomplish things. I want to do things. And if there's like a waiting period that I can't really do much, then it frustrates me. It is probably part of my personality as well, but I think caffeine in itself kind of exponentiates my personality of getting shit done, right? Because at the end of the day, you can't control a lot of things in terms of progress. There's a lot of things in your everyday life that you can't exactly control, but when it comes to the time that you can control it, you get it done, and then you kind of have to like wait for other people to do it, or you wait for another thing. There's a lot of waiting with everyday life. An example of this is just like traffic. Something as simple as traffic. I get so irritated when people are driving slow, even though they're driving the speed limit, they're driving safely, they're doing the right thing, but it's just me as a person. I want to get to my destination as quick as possible. So therefore, it inherently increases my road rage. Like the chances of me having road rage when I'm on caffeine, it is relatively high because I want to drive fast. I want to drive to the place that I want to be at as quick as possible. So that is just some simple reflections that I've had so far. All right, this is Lily. I am dog sitting for her because whenever I move to Texas, I am planning to adopt her. Her current owner loves her very much, but they have 2 kids. They're married and they have an additional dog, so they don't have a lot of attention for Lily, and Lily is a very attention-heavy dog. So that's one of the reasons why I am dog sitting for her, and just feeling it out. And this has probably been like the 3rd time I've dog sat Lily, so she is freaking adorable and I already love her. So I already know that she's gonna be mine pretty soon whenever I move out. But In this case, I'm gonna talk a little bit more about the caffeine stuff that I've been talking about. And to be honest, there's a lot of things with caffeine. I have actually been on caffeine for like a week, and I have controlled it pretty well, but I think I am at that point right now where I am getting used to the caffeine. The caffeine is not as potent as it was a year ago. I still struggle to, get some, even though I drink like a monster, it kind of wears away in like 2 hours. And a year ago, probably it would have taken me like 3 or 4 hours at least to like wear out and me start to feel sluggish again. So I think the tolerance is quickly like building up over time. And I have, like I said, a new baseline tolerance essentially. So with that being said, there's just a lot of things with caffeine right now that I'm trying to figure out with my own self. I think there are a lot of emotional and mental type of effects that has happened to me personally that I think can be talked about or should be talked about, because the thing that I really noticed, the major, it's a squirrel, all right? It's a squirrel. Calm your ass down. The thing that I could most notably say is that my irritability with caffeine is less of a tolerance for that. So that means like I get frustrated a lot quicker, a lot easier. And the thing with that is that I have to have patience whenever I'm working with people, especially with my job right now, and also just day-to-day life, right? I can't be super like frustrated about traffic when traffic I can't even control. I could control like what time I go to work or what time I wake up and do that and like plan around my day. But for the most part, traffic is not controllable, and that's like the everyday task that I have to like fight against whenever I am, going to work or traveling around. Is just, I've noticed that whenever I'm on caffeine, I have zero patience with traffic, and I just want to like be an asshole on the road when I shouldn't be, because not only does that, probably endanger some people, but also just makes me feel very negative about my life afterwards. So that being said, I mean, I know that's a little bit like a simple example, but I think most people relate to that. And just notice whenever you are off caffeine and on caffeine, like about traffic, like what is your demeanor whenever you are, going throughout your day, and all of a sudden you notice that like, oh shit, there's traffic and all that stuff. And Lily is taking a good ass poop. Is this what it's like to be a dog owner? Also, in addition to like being very irritable, I think I'm very not empathetic. I'm unempathetic. Empathetic. I'm not empathetic whenever I am on caffeine, because I just want to get things done, right? My character and me being a human really takes in consideration whenever I'm on caffeine that other people are human too. So I get frustrated with myself, so therefore I get frustrated with other people, and it kind of gets transferred along, and it's kind of weird how that works, but it is what it is sometimes, All right, we're on a freaking hike right now, and if I let you off the leash, I swear to God, hey, come here, I'm gonna let you go, but okay, see how well you do. And Lily Bean has been super good. She has been by my side the whole time. She hasn't run off or anything. It's just only in the beginning when I was messing around in the car, and then she just started walking off. All right, let's get back to the car, Lily. Guys, not sure if you guys could see that house over there, but it's like a house secluded from like everything, like legit. This is the route that I took, the trail right there, and then there's nothing around here. There's like another tiny home over there, and it's basically like a capsule home. Like, people don't know what it is, but it's just like a ISO container, like a shipping container, like decorated and all that stuff. So it's pretty sick that they have I don't know, just all this space, right? All this room for activities. And yeah, it's super secluded, super nice, you know. It's like probably close to a $1 million home with that like seclusion, because they have to build all that irrigation and all that plumbing and stuff just for that one single home out here, and it's a pretty decent sized house. All right, now that we are back at home, hope that transition is actually cool, because I haven't done that transition in a while. Hopefully it works out. Finishing out with the caffeine talk, I think most of us should do a caffeine fast at least every 3 or 4 months, and it is actually fairly difficult. Most people think, I was like, oh yeah, I could give up caffeine, until the 3rd day, the 4th day hits, and you are super sluggish. You can't operate, and you have cravings. You start to crave, like, oh man, I'm tired and I just want a sip of coffee or a cup of coffee, etc. So keep that in mind, and also a lot of mental challenges with it as well, because majority of it is just going through mental barriers. Like any addiction, it is mainly all mental barriers from that case, and then you work it from there, and then you start noticing differences between like on and off caffeine. So that being said, do the challenge. Let's see if it works out, and let me know if you actually do it and complete it, and share your thoughts and progress and differences that you have noticed. I'll see you later, dude.
My head's so messed up, but I can't fold to no fear. Got sights set right up on these bands, and I'm gonna use to wipe tears. 5 years still sticking to the plans I made when I was a kid.